Welcome to today's Hatha yoga class. It's probably going to be a little slow today. My body is still not come back from this summertime cold that I've got. So we're going to have a nice, slow Hatha class and just get into all the nooks and crannies of the body. So I'll have you start seated. Get yourself up on a blanket or a pillow if you need it. You want to feel nice and comfortable because we're going to spend some moments here, some breaths here. Close your eyes. And without changing your breath at all, just notice it. So notice if the inhale or the exhale is longer. Notice if there's a pause between the inhale and the exhale. And notice the sensation that you have between the inhale and the exhale. So not necessarily a physical sensation, although it might manifest itself as a physical sensation, but kind of the internal climate. You know, if you pause between the inhale and exhale, does your body immediately panic? Is there a moment, even if it's just a flash or flicker of scarcity? And again, we're not trying to change it, just becoming aware of something that we are pretty much never aware of because it's happening all the time. And we don't usually notice it until something has put us in a stressful situation, whether it is purposely through exercise or unconsciously through life. So July's Mind Mojo is all about the breath. And we're actually going to pull this out for a couple months. So we're going to do a bunch of different breath exercises for our Mind Mojo for the next couple months. Because the breath is such an amazing way to regulate our nervous system and our fight or flight reactivity. So I want to invite you now to try to balance your inhale and exhale out. So just noticing how long the inhale is, just count with it. 1, 2, 3, however long it is. And then notice how long your exhale is. And then I want you to find a kind of a happy medium. So say your inhale is a 4 and your exhale is an 8. Well, now we're going to go in between there at a 6. So you would inhale for 6, pause, exhale for 6. So whatever your middle number is, so kind of find that happy medium between the length of the inhale and the length of the exhale. Find that happy medium and shift your breath into that so that we have a balanced inhale and a balanced exhale. And just putting like a 1-second pause between them to start. And after a couple rounds of this, I tend to find that my body kind of wants to self-regulate itself into a longer or shorter cycle. So you'll notice that maybe on your inhale, like as you're approaching the end of that inhale, your body will take a bigger gulp of air in, or it will really push the exhale out so that it makes sure you're getting all the oxygen you need and releasing everything that you don't need. So I want you to honor that. If you're finding that you're pushing a little bit at either end of the inhale or exhale, I want you to add an extra second onto both the inhale and the exhale. So we're staying even on the inhale and exhale, but possibly lengthening it out. Now, if you're feeling the opposite and you're feeling like I am gasping for air at the end, like I can't wait for that exhale or I can't wait for that inhale, well then draw it back, shorten the cycle by a second. So depending on where our nervous system is at any time on any given day, is going to depend on where your breath is at. So whenever you're doing these breath exercises, it's important to honor where you're at. So you don't want to walk into it and being like, I do 8 seconds, inhale, 8 seconds, exhale every single time. Sometimes you're just having a bad day and your body really needs you to shorten it or lengthen it. So finding a place where you feel comfortable and challenged at the same time. So remember, we're trying to regulate our nervous system, regulate our mind, regulate our fight or flight habits, not trying to stress ourselves out more. So it's important to find your edge so that you are comfortable, you feel safe, and yet you feel that you are challenged. So adding a little bit more space between the inhale and exhale. See if maybe you can add a second every single round of breath. And only take that pause up until the amount of time that you are inhaling and exhaling. So if you're inhaling and exhaling for a 4, pause for a 4. Now, if it feels like too much, back it off, but don't go further than the length of time that you're inhaling and exhaling. So this inhale, pause, exhale, pause, inhale, pause, exhale, pause. And it's just this cycle we go through. The beautiful thing that you can do while you're driving, while you are cooking, while you're working, while you're writing emails, while you are changing diapers, while you're listening to somebody talk to you in a stressful situation, the end of your day, at the beginning of your day. Nobody can really tell you're doing it unless you're making strange faces. So something that is private, it's secret, that you can use to navigate your own emotional and mental minefields. And if you find that you're having a hard time, the whole counting aspect, your brain wants to wander off, this month's Mind Mojo is going to be all about this apnea training, and I'll be talking about different apps and things that you can use so that somebody else will lead you through this on a regular basis. So I want you to keep this metered breath going. And we're going to come into, we're going to stay where we are physically, this shape, but we're going to do cat-cow spine. So as you inhale, you're going to slowly arch the back and use your hands on your knees, if it's comfortable, to stretch into that arch position. Don't drop the head back, just lift the chin towards the sky. And you'll hold there as you pause. And then as you start the exhale, you will round. And then you'll hold there for the pause. So just moving at your own breath pace. And you want to move through the entire movement. And you might find that it allows you a greater length of inhale and exhale. Or maybe not. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Relax your jaw, your forehead, and your tongue. Now I want you to come back center. Sitting with your breath again for a second. And just stay with this metered breath and stillness for a second while I explain what we're going to do next. So you're not moving yet. But when we do start to move, we're going to start to move on the pause at the top of an inhale. And then that pause will move our ribcage forwards. And as we exhale, we'll spiral around in one direction. So we slide the ribcage all the way to the side and around to the back. And when we hit the pause of the exhale, we're in that rounded position. And then we move on the inhale the rest of the way around the circle. So we're just having a circle round and round, split into two parts. So on your next inhale, think about sending your ribcage forwards into that arching movement. We pause. And then as you exhale, you're going to roll the ribs around and finish at the pause in the rounded position. And then on the next inhalation, you're going to roll the ribcage all the way around the opposite side so that we pause in that arched position. And then move around. So at your own pace, and adjust your breath length if you need to. The next time you pause at the top of the inhale in the arch position, when you exhale, you'll slide backwards the other way. So we just reverse the movement. And the next time you finish forwards, as you exhale, you'll just make your way back center. Nice. All right. So set aside whatever you're sitting on if you're sitting on something. When it comes to standing at top of the mat, feet are going to be hip width apart. And I'm going to just stand sideways so you can see me here for this first little part. Feet are hip width apart. Left hand is going to come onto your left hip. Right arm is going to come up and over. And I want you to really feel the arm pull you. And when you can't go any further over to the left, use your left hand to push your hips to the right. And think about lifting yourself up and out of your pelvis on both sides of your waist. And we come back up center, sweep down. Left arm comes up, right arm comes in the hip. We reach up and over. When we can't go any further, we push the hips to the left now, and then lifting out of the waistline on both sides of the waist. Okay. So that's the main movement. I want you to sync it with your breath. So we inhale up and over, and then you pause. And then as you exhale, you come back and switch arms. Okay, so it's at your own breath pace here, moving back into that same breath pace. One more on each side. To the top of your mat. Next time we inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, bend your knees, send your butt back, and let the upper body just drop down. And then straighten the legs. And inhale into a long spine. And exhale, bow the head, bend the knees, roll up with an inhale. Go ahead, stand tall. So we inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fall forward. Inhale, length of the legs and spine. Exhale, bend the knees, drop the head, roll up. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, drop forward. Inhale, lengthen everything. Exhale, bend and roll. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale.
What do you want to say?
Exhale.
Okay.
Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. This time we'll go all the way through and stay down. And fold. Then one knee and then the other, just slowly moving deeper into the hips and hamstrings. Oh man, somehow my phone, Siri just like on my watch decided to send a text message to somebody. And all I heard was, what would you like to say? And it caught me as I was saying exhale. And then it sent it because it was like, okay, I'll send it. And it just sent a text message to my accountant. Just says exhale. Oh, that's hilarious. He probably needs to exhale. Okay, take your feet about as wide as your mat. Now, depending on your body, you're either gonna have your toes pointing forwards or outwards. And that really depends on how your hips are plugged into, or how your femur's plugged into your pelvis. So play with it, see what feels good, what feels not good. Okay, so we're in this forward fold, our feet are wide, maybe your toes are forward, maybe they're out. I'm gonna inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, drop the hips down. So we inhale and expand. Exhale, contract. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, shortening. Try to keep your spine as you're doing this in one long line in both positions as much as is possible. Last time. I'm going to take it into an inhale again. And we're going to step the right foot way to the back of the mat. And drop the knee down. Now our left foot is out wide. I want you to take your hand right in the center of your mat and take your right arm up towards the sky. So tendency is to kind of like swing over into the left side of your body here, but I want you to take your weight into the left hand and really try to grow up and out of the left hand without swinging over into that left hip. Drop the hips forward if they've swung back. And then bring the hand down, right under the heart, right mid-mat. Take the left hand onto the left knee, and then use the knee and the hand to help twist you around. So you really get a good twist through the belly and the low back, and then take the left arm out. Bring the left hand down. So your left foot still at the outer edge of the left mat. Now both of your hands are in the middle of the mat. Lift that right knee up. And now you're going to use your core. So start to play with rocking forward, rocking back. On a push forward, you're going to use your core, draw your belly into your low back, and then pop that right foot to the outer edge of the right side of your mat. Okay, drop back down into that squat. And then inhale, lengthen. Exhale, left foot goes way to the back of the mat. Knee drops down. Right hand comes into the middle of the mat. We push into the right hand to peel the left arm open. So again, make sure you don't sink way over here into the right leg. You're using the right arm to stabilize and rotate. Bring the left hand down, place it right in the middle of the mat. Right hand onto the right knee, rotate yourself around, and then take the arm up. Bring the hand down, lift the toes up, play with shifting your weight. Draw your belly into your low back, and as you push forward, step that foot forward. Drop the hips down into your squat, and then inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bow all the way down. Shake out your head. You're gonna bend the knees, walk the feet back into downward facing dog. Keep a little bit of a bend in those knees so that you can really lift your sitting bones up. So the sitting bones are the bones you sit on. So think about the very top of the hamstring, right where it connects into all those glute muscles. Think about those little points lifting up towards the sky as long as they'll go. Really lengthening your waistline, and then start to lengthen out the legs only as much as you can without rounding in the back, okay? We did a lot of hip opening through movement, so this should feel very open, new, maybe different. You might be feeling your legs in a different manner than normal. And I just want you to take a second to bring your awareness into your shoulders and your chest and your upper back. What's going on there? What does that feel like? We're gonna see if we can change what that feels like. So roll yourself forward into plank pose. And then lower yourself all the way down. You're gonna bring your right arm straight out next to you. Shoulder height, palm flat out on the floor. And then roll over into that right arm. Walk the fingers away as you do that. If it's comfortable, you can bend that left knee and set the foot down behind you. Head relaxes down onto the ground. And usually your left arm is in front of you and it's assisting you. So it's pushing you over into this pose. If you find that you are over pretty far into the pose, you do have the option of wrapping the arm behind the back. If you're insanely flexible, you can also drop that arm back, flex the fingers and touch your fingers together. Rolling back onto your belly. Left arm reaches out. Walk the fingers away as you roll over. Relax the head. Take that right leg behind you. Right hand is supporting in front of you. Or you can take it back. Rolling back. Let's take this into puppy dog pose. You're gonna pop yourself up and bring your hips on top of your knees. So we're stacked right there, 90 degrees. Walk the hands forward drop the chest and the head down. Now, if that is super easy because you've got glorious open shoulders, you lucky son of a gun, get yourself some blocks. Bring those hands up. Walk it back. We're going to come into down dog again, but I just want you to be really mindful as you come into your downward facing dog of what it feels like in your chest, shoulders, and upper back. So we just opened up a lot of space. So there should be some extra room to move around in there to find a deeper version of the pose. I want you to lift your heels and play with that idea. So lift and drop. Play with the idea, just like we did in the first lunge, of sending your weight forward, engaging your belly into your low back. So it feels like you're lifting up towards the sky as you shift forwards. And then add a bend, like a spring, and push, bend and push, bend and push. And this time you're going to bend and give it a real good push and jump up towards the feet. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, bow down, hang. And then I need you to bend the knees, drop your butt down to the floor. I'm going to do another shoulder opener. That is passive and it is body weight bearing. So you kind of have to play with it because your body is different than my body, which is different from the other person's body. So essentially, this is like the low end of cow face pose. So we're going to start here. We'll be lying on our backs. You'll be laying on your hands. And then you'll be working your way up towards here, lying on your back on your hand. So this is one thing to do, oh yeah, let me grab that elbow, yank this arm up. When we're upright, it's a whole other thing to do when we're lying down on our back. So go with it slowly. Palm is away from you, so the palm is flat down on the mat. Roll yourself down. And my hand is spread wide, my forearm is down on the mat, and then you might notice that your shoulder point is pushing down into the mat and your actual like rounding of your shoulder is rolling up, it's peeling up and away from the floor. So the first thing you do is work on flattening your shoulder blade into the mat, okay? Also notice if you're arching in your low back. So you engage the abdominals down, you're tucking. So you're using your torso to actually push into your hand, and then you're pushing hand into the floor, elbow into the floor, shoulder blade into the floor. So that action right there might be plenty. Again, if you've got glorious open shoulders, you lucky son of a gun, you will start to walk the hand up. Just an inch or two, you're keeping the back of your hand right along the spine, okay? So you're not crossing it over towards the left rib cage, you're keeping it right in the middle. And as you go up higher and higher and higher, you continue to engage the torso down into the hand, hand into the floor, elbow into the floor, shoulder blade into the floor. And you'll notice when you push that shoulder blade, your ribs want to pop up. So keep torso engaged down and pushing the shoulder. And this can be quite intense as you're engaging everything and pushing it down. As those muscles engage and we start to, for lack of a better word, tear through stuck tissue, adhesions, scar tissue it can be quite uncomfortable. So take it to your level of pain tolerance. If it feels like you can walk it up, keep walking. Keep engaging the torso, hand, elbow, shoulder blade. So there's going to be fatigue here because you are working the whole torso and the shoulder girdle. And if you're getting a cramp in your erectors, the muscles that run along your spine, it's probably because your hand is creating a trigger point action, a little bit of a massage there, and you've got a tight spot. So also totally normal. To release, you just roll away from the hand and slide the fingers down towards the hips and give it a rest, relaxing out. A couple of really deep breaths here. You might get some adjustments through the ribs or through the spine. And then I'm just going to rotate around so you guys have a better view. But John, will stay where you're at. And we're doing the left side. So hands right in the center of the spine, mid-back. You start by tucking the tail, engaging the torso into the hand into the floor, the elbow into the floor, and then pressing that shoulder blade flat into the mat. If that is easy, we just incrementally move the hand upwards, engaging the torso, engage the hand into the mat, elbow into the mat, shoulder blade into the mat. And again, to release, we roll away and then drag the arm down. Relax the arms. Now we are going to do some strengthening through all the stuff that we just stretched. So we're going to stay in this bridge position. We're actually going to come into a bridge. So you're going to push your heels into the floor, peel your spine up off the mat, and then walk the shoulder blades closer together without really pushing the ribs way up. So I want to hug the shoulders together and then think about pulling the ribs backwards and pushing more through the hips. So you see the difference here between popping my chest up and engaging my core down, okay? It's gonna feel very different. If I'm here, I'm like, oh, it's a lot in my legs and in my butt and in my low back. And here, I can actually grip through my whole core, okay? You're gonna grab hold of the edges of your mat and you're gonna externally rotate the arms. So your wrists, the inner wrists are gonna look towards the sky as you grab hold of the mat. And you're gonna bend the elbows, push the elbows into the ground, and now try to tear your mat in half with your hands. Keep pushing your hips up, pulling your ribs towards your pubic bone. Everything should burn. And then relax, slowly roll through your spine down, hug your knees into your chest, rock side to side. We're gonna come into modified pigeon here. So right ankle over left knee, and then either grabbing the back of the left thigh or the front of the left shin. And then we're gonna take this into a twist for the IT band. So you're gonna keep this exact same shape of the legs. It's just gonna rotate. So my left thigh, outer thigh is gonna come to the floor and my right foot is gonna come to the floor to my left. All right, I'm gonna hang on to my right ankle so that that foot stands and my right knee points up. And then I wanna think of my right hip as pulling down. So I'm actually engaging myself, my whole right rib cage, belly, and hip down towards the floor. I'm pulling down, and that action should give me some stretch up through the outer hip, maybe up into the IT band. And if you're like, no, not getting anything, move that right foot out or in, maybe drop it down away from you. So find the place where you get that sensation. But the important action is pulling the right side of the pelvis down towards the mat. That action really gets everything opening up. So we're kind of creating space in the hip joint traction. And then to come out of this, you just unhook that right ankle, set the right knee on top of the left, and with an exhale, come back center. And we're gonna take the right leg straight, bring the hand behind the knee, and then bring the left leg down the mat. Now, if you have a strap, you are more than welcome to use it here. But you can also just use your hands and walk the hands up as much as you need to with the head on the ground to get your desired stretch. Notice if your hips start to scissor. So if your right hip pops up and your left hip shifts down, I want you to pull your right hip down as if you're trying to hug your right sitting bone into your left inner thigh. And then whether you've got a strap or just your hand, You're going to pull your right leg just slightly across the body to again continue to open up through that outer right hip. Come on back, center. Give that leg another little tug right here in the center. And bend both knees, bringing them into the chest. Crossing the left ankle over the right knee. Again, either the back of the right thigh or the front of the right shin. Coming into our modified pigeon. And we're going to take this into the twist. So now the outer edge of my right thigh and my left foot are going to come to the floor to my right. I'm going to hang on to that left ankle. And then I'm working my left hip, low back, rib cage down towards the floor to get that tractioning stretch. Unhook that left foot, bring the left knee on top of the right. With an exhale, coming back center. I'm going to grab the back of the left knee, extend both legs, left leg up, right leg down. Again, if you've got a strap, you're welcome to use that. And then pulling the leg just slightly across the body to the right to continue that outer thigh, outer leg stretch. Come on back, center, give that leg a good pull right here in the center. Hug both knees into the chest. Arms open about to the side, drop the knees over to the left. And take a couple really full belly ribcage breaths here. Getting all the little tiny muscles in the ribcage to expand and contract with this twist and breath. And then take a big breath in. As you exhale, come back through center. Drop the knees over to the right. Again, deep breaths. Deep breath in. Exhale, back center. Place your feet on the floor. Lift your hips up and just scooch them over to the right side of your mat. So that as you lengthen your left leg down, if you look, your left leg is right in line with your nose. So it's in the midline of your body. Right leg is going to come across into a twist. So it's just a deeper variation of a twist. Getting your spine in alignment. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, come back center. Bring both feet onto the floor. Bring the hips into center to start. Get everything lined up and then pick the hips up, swing them over to the left. So now your right leg extends down the mat in alignment with your nose. And then the left leg takes us over into a twist. Taking a deep breath in. Exhale, back center, feet to the floor. Pick up the hips, bring them back to center. And then lengthen your legs down for Shavasana. Deepening your breath. Wiggling your fingers and your toes, arms and legs. Slowly rolling yourself up into a little ball. And then tipping over onto your side and making your way up to seated. Watching your breath without changing it. Chances are it's balanced itself out. And your hands together at your heart center, taking a moment to imagine a ball of light over your head, little gold flecks in it. And this ball represents unconditional love and pure energy. Just let that soak down into your body. Imagine it flowing into every cell of your body, reinvigorating every cell of the body. Filling yourself up with unconditional love, being thankful for the body that you have and everything it does for you. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Namaste.